made a real impact. I mean, 18,000 less tickets in just 2 months. If the city was to collect every dollar on those tickets, it would be almost $800,000. I could not park my car here, even though it's a public street. And the valets at the Madison Hotel threatened to tow me. So we wanted to see if this was a one-time thing or if it would happen again with cameras rolling. But there is still shock at the suggestion. This proposed $41,000 bonus would have bumped Kreiner Cash's pay to over $300,000 for this year. What's more likely, a collective group of citizens, I mean the whole city coming together and driving better, or people that work together every day saying let's all get together and not write tickets? The Grizzlies just exploded last year. People were excited. They'd been waiting 10 years to see something happen, and the playoffs were as good as you can expect without winning the whole thing. Incredible games, downtown buzzing. So I think that there is some fear there that the fan base is going to whittle away.
Why is the Wharton administration refusing to deal with this?
Well, there's one thing that we haven't talked about yet, and that is what is happening 1 week from today. It is the municipal election. Mayor Wharton is running for election. All of his people underneath him were appointed by him, want him to get the job. There's several people in the city council who are wanting that union vote. It all comes down to politics, who's playing politics and how well they're playing politics.
Diane George, considered by many the renegade member of the board for her practice of voting opposite the rest of the commissioners, is connected to a company being sued for forcing an elderly woman out of her family home. George is not named in the lawsuit, but Fox 13's Lauren Lee has been investigating the connection. Joins us in the studio with details. Hey, Lauren.
Hey, Ernie, this all started with a daughter's plea to get her mother's house back. 90-year-old Annie Austin found herself out on the streets. She alleges in her lawsuit it was the result of predatory lending. But as we investigated Home Realty Company of Memphis, we came across the name Diane George. Although she is not named in the civil lawsuit, we learned Diane George was an officer for Home Realty Company at the time that the state says the company had issued unlicensed home loans. George is now an elected member of the Shelby County Board of Education.
Come into a school board meeting on school business. Why don't you call me and deal with this in a professional manner?
After this confrontation, Shelby County School Board member Diane George drove directly to Fox 13, wanting to know why we were asking questions. The answer, 90-year-old Annie Austin. Austin lost her home through foreclosure and found herself and a lifetime of possessions out on the street. Her mortgage was issued by Home Realty Company of Memphis. The company is now the defendant in a lawsuit filed by Miss Austin. As Fox 13 investigated the company, we came across a familiar name, Diane George.
She was one of the officers of the corporation. We are in the process of trying to depose her. That hasn't happened yet because the corporation was unrepresented in court in the lawsuit.
Sapna Raj, an attorney for the nonprofit Fair Housing Center, is representing Miss Austin. George is not listed as a defendant on the lawsuit against Home Realty Company of Memphis. Raj says in 2008 they did not know about George, but says it is possible for her to be added onto the suit once discovery moves forward. Fox 13 decided to ask Miss George what her role in the alleged predatory lending scam was, if any. Do you work for Home Realty of Memphis?
I don't. I'm an agent. I'm a real estate agent. My license are with Home Realty Company.
Are you still vice president there?
No.
But George's name is on official company documents filed with the state, listed as either a secretary or a vice president with the company from 2001 till 2007. And George was listed as a vice president on the Better Business Bureau website.
It was certainly information they provided to us, and in many cases, unless they tell us otherwise, we have no reason to suspect that it's changed.
After interviewing Randy Hutchinson, president of the BBB, he called Home Realty Company of Memphis, who asked that Diane George's name be taken off Home Realty's profile page. The company's letter grade, though, remains an A+. Home Realty Company is a member of the Better Business Bureau. How come the BBB lists you as a vice president of the company?
I was working there.
As a vice president? Like, are you a primary shareholder?
No, I'm not. No.
George never answered the question, but documents from the Department of State show George is the one who signs off on nearly every one of the annual corporation reports required by the state of Tennessee. And although not named specifically, Raj says George is well aware of the lawsuit. She says George's deposition in connection with this lawsuit was scheduled for February of this year, but lawyers for the home realty company canceled the meeting.
That court case is not even going forward. It's a dead issue.
This civil case is still going forward.
I don't know anything about it. I'm not involved in it.
Miss Austin's lawsuit is not the only legal action against Home Realty Company of Memphis. According to state documents, an emergency cease and desist order was served to Home Realty Company from the Department of Financial Institutions in October of 2007. It alleged the company issued 9 mortgages during a 2-year period without ever having been licensed to do so. Miss Austin's loan was named in the order as an example. State documents filed in July of 2008 indicate the state and Home Realty Company came to an agreement. A $12,000 penalty was ordered along with payments due to the loan victims. Miss Austin was awarded more than $3,000 from back interest payments, but lost her home. According to the lawsuit, the terms on Miss Austin's loan were 15% interest with interest-only payments for 6 months and nearly $3,000 in fees. After 6 months, a balloon payment of the entire principal of the loan was due. There were penalties if Miss Austin did not refinance with Home Realty Company. When Miss Austin refused to refinance with Home Realty Company, the lawsuit alleges that is when she found herself facing foreclosure.
I don't understand what you're asking about predatory lending. No, we do owner financing for people that can't afford or qualify for any place else. We do owner financing.
According to documents filed with the lawsuit, the lending arm of the company shut down, but it was too late for Miss Austin. Her home, valued in 2007 at nearly $118,000, was sold on the courthouse steps. According to the Shelby County Assessor's Office, her home was sold in April of 2007 for $24,500. The lawsuit alleges Home Realty Company kept that money for the balance of the loan. So you never anyway benefited from these predatory loans that the company got in trouble for?
I don't have any information. I don't have any information on that.
Fox 13 reached out to Diane George several times to do a follow-up interview. She declined. In the studio, Lauren Lee, Fox 13 News. For this quickie version of Fox 13 News, I'm Lauren Lee. A bad guy is dead, another is on the run, and a homeowner is on the mend tonight after another home invasion in Memphis. All right, that's it for our mini newscast. We'll have a grown-up newscast full length tonight at 9. See you then.